What's up, metalheads? It's Death Metal Dave in your face here on MetalMessiahRadio.com. And I have a Floridian, which a lot of people didn't know probably, that Bobby Gustafson is a longtime resident of Florida, and he's a legendary fucking guitarist too. What's up, Bobby?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I'm just happy that you're joining us here, and hopefully we have enough time to get into your history and what you're doing and your past bands and so on.
Sure.
First of all, I always ask everybody this: where were you born?
And
where did you live? Staten Island. Okay.
Yeah. Staten Island, New York. Yeah. I grew up there, at least, until
95.
Well, yeah, I'm just going off the Overkill albums, because after Years of the Game was like 1990. I may have been there like another 2 years, then went to California, then got a short stint in Minnesota and a short stint in Texas, and then I came down here August 96.
So what?
So 29 years ago.
So back to New York. How did you get into music, and how did you start that whole career as a kid or teenager?
My dad he had a really cheap guitar under his bed. I guess he tried to teach himself guitar, but he never got with it enough.
Acoustic guitar?
No, he had an old Kent guitar. It looks like something you'd get out of a Sears catalog.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Cheap as hell, but, I used to fool around with that when I was little, but I had an older brother who was about 10 years older than me. So he was listening to all the cool stuff in the early 70s. He had all the Sabbath albums,
right? And
Zeppelin, Hendrix, Grand Funk Railroad, and,
sick,
stuff like that. So I used to listen to that, and I just immediately gravitated towards, the Sabbath stuff, and I just loved it. I mean, I just fell in love with the Paranoid album. Was really what first thing I heard, and then just never left me.
Did your brother play guitar at all?
He played drums.
Oh, okay.
But by the time I was kind of growing up, I remember a couple of random drums down the basement, and he never had a full kit. I don't ever remember him practicing or nothing like that. But I wound up, I was like, damn, guitar's kind of hard. I'm like, let me try drums. So I bought drums off of this girl, like 2 blocks over. I had a little kit, the black kit. I set that up, and then I used to try and play drums, and I'm just like, screw this. I don't want to sit down the whole show. I want to run around. So I went back in, and we got like a $25 guitar from the back of a catalog, and I just kind of taught myself and stuck with it ever since.
So you're self-taught killer, man. Never took lessons?
Yeah. My mom told me, which I forgot. She used to drive me a couple towns over to get lessons. And it was like, one string note thing. I think it was like Love Me Tender. I was learning and stuff like that. My mother said I went to 2 lessons, and I said, well, I learned enough. we don't have to go back. And I said, that sounds like something I would say.
Probably not.
So that was it.
Probably not heavy enough for you.
Well, I don't know. I figured, all right, I know enough. I don't know. I maybe felt bad that she had to drive me there and wait and then drive me home. I mean, I was so young. But then I just sat there with the guitar and just kept learning stuff as I went, hearing things, grabbing stuff from other people.
Right.
And just, went on my way.
So how did you start getting into a band? Do you remember all that?
I think the first band was with my neighbor on the block, and he knew someone from school, and it was early. It was like 78. So that's when punk was really big.
Oh, yeah.
And they got me into punk, and we were into the Sex Pistols. So, we started really listening to that and getting into it, and, looking at the pictures of all the British flag and all these people with nose rings and all that crap. And then by the time I did my first show, I think we had some originals and some off the Bollocks album.
Oh, okay.
And I played a bar. The first time I played a bar, I was 15.
And playing
we
punk.
Did two. Yeah, we were playing punk. And then, unfortunately, our drummer got chicken pox. So we had to hire his cousin like 2 days before the show to play the songs. So it must have sounded, we thought we did good, but it must have sounded like a disaster out front. But, yeah, we did 2 nights in a row. Like, my sister came with all her friends, which were all the football team, came and watched us play. I will never seen one picture. No one ever took a picture back then, or I don't have it on video, nothing.
Crazy.
Just a flyer. I had the flyer. I saved that all these years. That was it.
Oh, sick. That's cool. At least you got that. I mean, back then we just didn't carry around cameras that much, really.
No.
It wasn't a thing. Now it's in your hand all the time.
Yeah, it's in your hand all the time. Yep.
So yeah, after that, what made you leave the punk scene and do something else? Or
well, we did the 2 shows and everything kind of fell apart, and then I somehow either the drummer or the drummer's friend or something had a AC/DC album. It was like If You Want Blood or something, and I got into AC/DC about that time, and Van Halen had come out with their first album. So I really liked the first Van Halen album. Then I heard AC/DC, and my best friend on the block was really into them too. So it was like, everything was AC/DC at that one point, and I just started playing to that, which is good because you can improvise and do solos that, whatever you wanted over that stuff because it was kind of easy.
Right.
So I got better and better. And then, then the metal started to come around by 80. Priest was there, but the first Maiden album came out, which was like a big, learning experience. That first album had all those riffs and Phantom of the Opera and all that stuff. So gravitated towards that. And then, that's about the time of, metal started to take off. And that was perfect timing for me.
Fuck yeah.
Learning how to play and learning those songs at the same time.
Hell yeah. And then so how did you get with the, was there a first metal band before Overkill, or how did that transition into Overkill?
I think I became friends with a couple of guys. We used to sneak in to go see Twisted Sister. We were underage, but we'd get in there, and I became friends with like the DJ and stuff like that. And there was a band called Riff Raff, and they were doing mostly AC/DC stuff, but like, Scorpions and stuff like that. So that kind of broke up. And then I kind of mentioned to my friend, I'm like, man, I really want to get in a band. And he happened to know, because Overkill had started about that time, like 81, 82, they were doing covers. And there used to be a local paper that there was so many clubs in the metropolitan area around New York. I mean, there was literally almost a newspaper's worth of clubs, all different types of music and stuff. But Overkill had always put like a credit card sized advertisement for them in there. And I recognized it. I remember them. But my friend wanted to grab Rat, the drummer, and he went to audition for them, hoping he can get Rat to leave the band and join his, and he had no desire to do that. So I just happened to mention to him, and he's like, "Oh, I think that band that I went to go see, I think they need a guitar player." So we set it up. I had talked to them. I went to audition. I could not find their house for nothing. I mean, I just got my driver's license. Like, I haven't been that deep into New Jersey before in my life. So I couldn't find his house. By the time I got there, it was really late. We only did like 2 songs. So we set up another audition, and then I went back around Thanksgiving and 82. And, I auditioned a second time at one of the guitar players' houses. And they're like, "Oh yeah, cool, man. If you want to play, you can play." So that's what we did. That's how I joined them, found them, went through like two other guitar players. No one stuck around. So I was like, look, I'll just do it myself. We're wasting time with these people. So from that day forward, we wound up just being one guitar. And 83, I graduated high school. And then by August of 83, we literally did our first show as Overkill with me.
Crazy.
Yeah. I was like the youngest guy in that band.
Like 18 or something?
Yeah. I was like 18. I just turned 18 in July.
Oh,
and we did our first show in August. I graduated high school in June. And then we just started playing out. By that January, I think Johnny Z, we used to go visit him at his flea market in Jersey, giving him our, songs and demos. And he was always talking about this band Metallica, and Anthrax, I think, used to bother them over there as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came and saw us in January of 84. And he was like, oh, you guys just aren't ready yet. It was a horrible show. It snowed. So there was nobody there. It was kind of depressing, so we didn't really probably do well. But then he saw us later that year in October. We opened up for Anvil.
Oh, okay.
At L'Amour's. And by that time, we had spent a good, 8 months of playing out almost every weekend. So when he came and saw us the second time, we were just firing on all cylinders, and he signed us that night.
Sick. Now, when you went to practice, how far was the drive from Staten Island to New Jersey where they were?
Well, the first 2 years we practiced down my parents' basement.
Oh, so they drove to you.
So they drove to me, yeah. Then we tried to find a place in Jersey. We like Livingston, I think. It was pretty far. It was almost like an hour drive or so. Like west of Newark Airport, but we couldn't. It was a popcorn video place, so we couldn't play till after 9. So it sucked. It was just this wet, damp concrete basement. It wasn't safe. It wasn't like secure. I'm so glad no one ever stole our shit. But we only did a couple practices there, and then Dee, where he was working, there was like a little office area off this warehouse that his boss was closing down shop, and we asked if we could take over the rent. So we did. Then we started practicing there, and then we practiced there all the way up to Years of Decay.
Wow. And so
yeah, we have.
Was that like an hour? You said about an hour drive or something?
Well, that one was about an hour. I'd say this other one was a little closer to Staten Island, so it's probably about more like 45 minutes.
Gotcha.
One way. So it wasn't too bad. Plus, it's like we had the room we practiced in. There was a bathroom, and there was another room that we had couches in. So, if you ever had to stay over, you could stay over.
Oh, nice.
It wasn't like, we just had to, I think during the week we had to play like after 4:30 when the warehouse closed down. But yeah, we spent a lot of years there. Up until Years of Decay, and then we shut that down. We just said, well, we'll just practice sporadically now. We don't need to practice every day like we were.
So was there a lot of, was it super serious, or was there a lot of hanging out, partying together, becoming good friends?
Yeah, we would invite people over, or, after the show, it was late, so we could make noise there because it was like a warehouse district. So we'd have people come over. There was a bar across the street, but they're only open till like 2. But yeah, I mean, we did a lot of party. I remember even Hetfield came there once when he was hanging out. I brought him to practice. Him and Erie Vaughn from Sam Hain and Danzig, he used to come over and hang here and there. So yeah, it was we were serious, but it was it was a good place to party, so we took advantage of it because we didn't bother anybody.
So yeah, I went to a lot of those warehouse like parties. Actually, I was in a band, and we had a big warehouse party, a couple warehouse parties before. Fun fucking times, and once again, I don't remember any fucking cameras. barely. you know?
No, we had some cameras. We had a friend that used to follow us around and take pictures of the shows. So he always had a camera. He was with us. And then towards the end, like I said, I wound up getting the video camera. So that even made its way there too. But yeah, there's definitely some pictures of that floating around. Then when we gave it up, Adam from Blood Feast.
Oh, okay,
he used to be my roadie, and then we gave it up and we let them take it over. So then they started practicing there. They're like, yeah, we found these, like, we looked up in the attic and there's these big pillars with skull heads on them. I was like, oh shit, yeah, that was our old stage show.
Oh yeah.
We must have had stuff stored there, but yeah, it was nice, easy place. It was double doors, so it was locked kind of twice, and we weren't going up and down stairs like my parents' house. So yeah, it made it a little bit easier. But yeah, we spent a lot of time there.
So when Johnny Z signed you, how did the first EP go over? Pretty well, and you support it on tour, or how did all that happen?
That first EP we did really early on. Like Rat had set something up with this guy in California, and we had our whole stage show. We had the whole thing set up, and that was supposed to be the cover. We gave him the 4 songs. We went and recorded them, sent them out, and the guy just sat on it. He didn't do anything.
Oh,
so then when we finally got signed, he went and took it and fucking put out that EP when we had gotten signed. And he didn't use the artwork in the front. It was just black with our logo on top. I'm like, how fucking cheesy, but that thing became classic.
Yeah.
Spinal Tap sort of shit. Yeah. But yeah, that came out later. That was another guy. And, I had a handful of them, but I sold all that shit. I just didn't want it all sitting around. But, we had already gotten signed, but with Johnny at that point, when that came out later, he tried to capitalize on us, like finally becoming something, I guess.
So you did, what was it, Feel the Fire?
Yeah. August of 85, we went up. So we waited almost a whole year before we got into the studio, because I think Anthrax was doing their second album. TT Quick had gotten signed. They were in there just before us. And then we had to also wait for SOD because that just popped up out of nowhere. So we kept getting pushed back. So we didn't really go in until August.
So it was all the same studio, huh?
Yeah. He just had everybody going up to Pyramid, which is stupid. I mean, we really should have grabbed somewhere else, but we were kids. We didn't know. It's like, okay, no, this is where you're going. So we're like, oh, okay. And he used Carl Kennedy on the first album, I think, which he did Anthrax's first, maybe second album too. And it just sounds horrible. To me, it does. Almost wish we would have went somewhere else.
He probably had the bundle deal, some kind of
deal. Well, I mean, I think what it was is like they know what our budget is, so it's like they want to use the entire budget,
right?
So they used all your money and then say, well, we're going to do you a favor at the end and give you a couple of days. You got to finish this up, type of thing.
So, who was your first tour with? And
I think the first big thing we did, other than just playing our own shows, was with Anthrax and Agent Steel.
Oh, okay.
April, May of 86.
Oh, okay.
We did that Metal Hammer Road show.
Yeah.
And we went out there and probably did about 10 shows throughout, like Germany mostly.
Gotcha.
And supported by the magazine. They videotaped that show. That pops up every once in a while here or there.
I think that you probably became more popular once Taking Over came out. Was that recorded at the same place?
But we didn't use Carl.
Oh, gotcha.
We got rid of Carl and we used Alex. And my big thing with the first album is like, my amps blew up, so we rented 2 Marshall heads from Carl's friend, and they just sucked. I could not get a sound out of it whatsoever. And then he even ruined it on top of that when he went to mix it. But we told Alex, it's like, look, the guitars just sucked on that album. It's so thin. It's not my sound. So he wound up doing the second album with us alone up there. He recorded and did the engineer work. And he did taken over, I think, in the fall of '86.
Yeah, and then that thing took off, didn't it?
Well, yeah, that's when Headbangers Ball had first come out. So we did, and You Knew We Stand as the video.
Yeah.
And then there wasn't a lot of bands who had videos back then, because it was a lot of money, and we had gotten taken up by Atlantic. So we were able to do a decent video, and we got played so much because it was a 3-hour show and there wasn't many bands to choose from.
Right.
So it was like us and Megadeth.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of play.
You're right. And that's
in the early days.
And in 88 is when I was talking to you earlier about, off air that, when I did that video, I was guest host on that video show in Tampa. And I remember that video, and you understand. Hell yeah, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was like every weekend in a row we were, we'd watch it and it was on there.
That's killer.
So yeah, that kind of really paid itself off by just all that push.
Hell yeah. And then who did you do your own tour after that, or did you tour with somebody else in the States? Or
I think we did a little bit of shows. I know we did some shows with Slayer. May have done a little bit with Slayer. I'm not sure if it was all for Taking Over, but I know. Oh no, we went to Europe for 2 months with Halloween.
Ah, gotcha.
So yeah, we opened up for Halloween, and that was like we hit everywhere for 2 months, and then we came back. We were home for 3 days, and then we did 6 weeks with Megadeth because Peace Sells had just come out as well.
Yeah.
So we were both on our second albums. And then I think at the end of that year, before we went in, after Rat had left, we went out like with Testament because they were brand new. So Testament opened up for us for like a couple of weeks. We did like half the country, and then we had to find a drummer.
Yeah, they had that. They had a video come out too. That was Over the Wall, something like that.
Yeah, they had just gotten signed to Megaforce. And
then that's when we had played that too there. So that was 88. And, that's when I saw the mighty Slayer, Motorhead, and Overkill tour in Tampa at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, that was, I think, on our third album, because we had Sid. We hooked up with Sid, and after the third album,
Under the
we went out and did, we did that tour with Slayer, Motorhead.
Yeah, and that's got to be right, because I remember we would play Hello from the Gutter on that TV show.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and by that time MTV had really taken off. So
yeah,
we did Hello from the Gutter. That it also got played a lot. I had just said in an interview last week, they used to have something called Smash or Trash for a little while.
Yeah.
And you could call in, and they were like, okay, well, they used that video for Smash or Trash. We got the most call-ins from any other video for Smash, and they're like, we can't play this in the afternoon. We're like, why not? There's no curse words, there's no violence, there's no nothing. They're like, no, we can't play this music in the afternoon. So that was just a total fucking farce, and that kind of sucked. So by that time, yeah, we did. I think we did another tour with Slayer in Europe after the Motorhead thing. I think we went to Europe with them, and then by the fourth album, we weren't opening for anyone anymore.
I gotcha. And so then you did the Years of Decay.
Yeah, that was the fourth album.
And then, did you do any tours with that? Well, It kind of came
Yeah,
out
we
late.
did we did mostly our own. We did just all headlining.
Then, yeah.
Yeah, through the States.
That's probably where I saw you at Janice Landing.
Yeah, we might have been with Dark Angel.
Oh yeah, that's
back then, and then in Europe, I forgot who opened up for us in Europe, but we wound up doing another tour out there and just little things here and there. But I wanted to go back out again, but they were like hurrying us up once again to fucking write another album. I'm like, damn, man, it's such a good album. We should be playing out with it until it's fucking actually dead. I mean, within a year, I'm writing the songs, recording the songs, touring, and then they're already like, okay, well, we need another album. So I don't know how I did it. I really don't know how I wrote all those songs back then.
Crazy.
With no time. And I wouldn't write on the road. I only wrote when I was home.
So you wrote most of the songs back then in those days? Yeah,
a couple of parts on Under the Influence. Dee Dee had a couple of riffs that we worked into either into the song or started a song off here or there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was 99% me.
And so, and then you left Overkill, and what did you do after that? You Cycle Sluts?
I started my own band, Eye for an Eye.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to do.
Oh yeah, and that's
a little bit
the number 4.
The letters.
Yes.
And then there was a bunch of bands that wound up trying to use that over the years, but yeah, we never. I was putting the songs together at that point, and then I just happened to get a call from the Cycle Sluts. They're like, "Hey, our guitar player quit. Can you come in the studio and do a solo to this song?" And which I did. And then after we recorded that, they're like, "Hey, we're thinking we're going to get this Motorhead tour in Europe. Do you want to come?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell, definitely." So I wound up, sticking with them for a little while, still doing Eye for an Eye. And then when I got the guys together and enough songs, I kind of quit. I think they got dropped like almost immediately. So I kind of left them and played a little bit around the New York area as Eye for an Eye. And then Billy Milano wanted to do an MOD record. So I wound up working with him, and actually Vio-lence had broken up. So we were trying to get Perry. We drove out to California, and within 2 weeks, like I guess Billy said, Johnny pulled the money on the project. So he went home. I stayed out there because we paid for everything for 2 months. So I said, I'm just going to hang here. So I wound up hanging there, and I wound up being there like 2.5 years. And then that's when I hooked up with Skrew, because Debbie used to manage Skrew.
Oh, okay. Debbie Obama.
So same thing. Guitar player left while they were in the studio. They were recording out in El Paso. So they flew me out there to play. And I wound up staying there. I wound up staying in Austin because they were putting together a creator tour in the States. And then Skrew was going to open for them. So I stayed there for that. I did that. Did a little stint with Lombardo with the grip thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then
you just did live or live with grip, or
we didn't record anything. We were like in the infant sort of stages,
Gotcha.
But he was like a 7-hour drive from where I was. So I used to drive down on the weekends, and they weren't doing anything. I'd just sit around and smoke pot or party and talk about what they're going to do. And then I got his wife fucking nagging at me. She's like, "Oh, you're leaving too much hair in the shower." I'm like, "Fuck this, man. I don't need this crap." So I took off. I grabbed my gear. And I had left. Yeah, he brought in that other guitar player that wound up doing the album with them without even saying anything to me. I just show up one day, and there's another guitar player there. It's like, "Oh, okay. Well, thanks for filling me in that you wanted 2 guitar players now." So, yeah, they kind of fell apart quickly, which was good. And then I left. He changed the name to Grip Incorporated because he thought I was going to sue him over the name. So I don't give a fuck what you do with that name. I'm going to sue you over it. It's not that great. So And then that was it. I kind of felt like I had wore out my welcome in California, and I was like, my family started to slowly come down here, and went back to New York for a little bit, and then they had already owned the condo down here, so I moved down here in '96, and I've been here ever since.
Crazy, man. So you're a longtime resident of Florida, and you're like south, kind of, aren't you? Like
yeah, with the West Palm area.
Yeah, and which warrants you. You're a Florida metal musician, that's for sure, man. And you've fucking made a staple here because you've done stuff here.
Yeah,
you did Satan's Taint, which I added to the website. You know, I messaged you like a year ago or two or something and said, hey, I got this on the website. And,
nice.
And I actually need to add the Guardians of Valhalla on there. So
yeah, that was the EP from last year. Yeah, I mean, I kind of like, you know, after being in Texas and Debbie's house and stuff like that, I just got tired of sleeping on the floor and the couch and shit. So I'm like, look, I got to get a roof over my head. So I started, you know, working at that. And then by 2004, you know, just met up with some new friends I had made down there. They're like, oh, you know, we got a band and, you know, you want to play? I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a try. So that wound up being Response Negative.
Oh yeah.
And that, you know, that wound up a little while. We did some shows around here, but mostly Florida. I mean, we would do the Old Brass Mug.
Oh, yeah.
We played Jacksonville, Daytona, the Haven.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so we were, you know, Miami, and then whatever we could do around here. That lasted a while, and it just kind of petered out. So once again, I felt like, you know, all right, well, this shit just is not working. So I didn't know what to do. So I kind of gave up a little bit. And then there was an Italian band who asked me to do a solo, and I had no idea that I could do a solo here and send it to them. I'm just not a computer guy, so we wound up doing that, and it kind of sparked my interest a little bit. And then that's when I put Taint together. I just figured, all right, no stress. I'll play with some local guys. I'll play with different guys on each album. I'll try and give everybody a chance to do something, mix it up. And we did the first album. I think we recorded it up near Orlando. We went up to a little studio up there. And then the second one we had with Missy from Megaforce, she signed us on that. We did Destruction Ritual. And then a long stint without anything at all. You know, Vio-lence was mixed in there, and then I did the EP last year. We put that out, but I'm ready to kind of call it quits with that. Everyone's that was playing with that band is all doing other stuff, so it's just hard to get everyone together and on the same page. And, you know, nobody practices like they used to.
Right. The whole,
you know, you don't need a warehouse.
The whole thing is different now with the internet and living on long distances and stuff. Pretty crazy. But you also were in Vio-lence for a little bit. Did a couple things with them.
Yeah. I got a call from Perry, and he kind of just said, hey, you know, why don't you start learning the songs? Like 6 months before it actually happened, and I really didn't pay much attention to it. I didn't really sit there and learn anything. I was waiting to see because they were still out doing shows, and they had another guitar player. So I'm like, all right, well, that isn't going to happen. And all of a sudden, you know, he got kicked out, and they're like, hey, do you want to play? So I was like, sure. So I learned what I could. They flew me out there. It was like January 2020. And I remember going there, and my friend was telling me about this, you know, this disease that's going around that started in China. It's really, you know, it's really a big deal. So I had wound up going there and telling that because we were supposed to go to Japan like in a week or so after I was out there. We were supposed to do Japan and I think Australia and New Zealand. And within that week, COVID just broke out.
Right.
And we couldn't do anything. So I stayed there for a little while. We did some, you know, practicing. and just went back home. We tried to wait it out to see what was going on with this fucking COVID shit. And then, even when it had hit, they were still flying me back and forth. Like, there was no one on the planes.
Right.
12 people on the plane.
Wow.
Flew me out there for a video, and then they flew me out there to record. I think they did their little EP like almost a year later. I think it was January of the next year. And then we did, a handful of shows. Then we did the 3 big festivals out there. And then was it 3 years ago already? Yeah, like 3 years ago. It's just too expensive. Once everything kicked in again, it was very expensive to fly me back and forth. So it was just easier if they had gotten someone out there.
That talking about a long distance from one.
Yeah, it was hard, especially with the mask on the whole time. Like, there's a couple of flights I went from here up to Newark, New Jersey, and then out to Florida. So you're talking, a 2.5-hour flight, another hour or 2 layover, and then another 6-hour flight. So I'm like spending 13-hour days flying back and forth. A couple times I went through Atlanta and Charlotte, and then I said, "Hey, look, why aren't you sending me through Dallas? It's 2.5 hours and then 2.5 hours." I'm like, Let's cut off bringing me to these crazy fucking flights, man. It's like, you just lose a whole day, especially with that mask.
And wearing the mask the whole time. Damn.
The whole time.
Shit.
As soon as you walked in that airport, you had to have the mask on. Then you had it the whole flight. Then you had it your layover.
Wow.
It just sucked. It was like the worst fucking time to fly, but at least it wasn't crowded. So, just a lot of stress and shit. So, and then it got expensive. So we kind of called that a day. But yeah, those guys are still cool. I'll probably see Phil in a couple of weeks down here.
Yeah, I love Vio-lence. I love that old shit, man. That's fucking killer.
Yeah,
I love the new
album.
shit too. So, and the stuff you were on, "Let the World Burn," is a fucking great song. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to do a video and in Hollywood and stuff. And the only thing is I missed out on, which I really wanted to do, was I never played Australia. I was looking forward to that, but that kind of fell apart.
So never ever played Australia. Crazy.
Nope. And New Zealand I wanted to play. At least we did go to South America. So we did, we did like 3 shows in South America, which was cool because, Overkill never went there either. We didn't really do much. We never did festivals because the festivals were like friggin' Van Halen and Whitesnake.
Oh, gotcha.
And Dio and Ozzy, and there was only a handful of them, so they weren't putting thrash bands on there. And then, kind of after I left is when all that started to pick up.
Right.
And now they're having one every other week. So
yeah. Or every week. Different.
Yeah.
Every country.
Everyone's got something going on now. So yeah, the opportunities at least to play are a lot better.
So you do now you do. Tell us about Painward.
Yeah, I didn't take Taint too seriously, but the music I took seriously, but it just got to be like a kind of a weight around my neck that nobody liked the fucking name. So I was like, look,
I like the name.
I thought it was funny, but Metal Maria said, she goes, if this was 1987, it would be a great name and everyone would get the joke, but nobody gets it these days. I says, yeah, I guess I'm stuck in the fucking 80s anyway.
Cancel culture. Fuckers.
Yeah, exactly. So no one's got a sense of humor. You're not allowed to laugh anymore. So I said, all right, well, we'll change the music up. I'll go back to, a little bit more thrash, a little less groove. And I said, I'll think of another name. I might have heard it on TV or something. I don't know. If I hear something, I write it down, and I don't even remember where it came from. But I was like, oh, Painward. So that's pretty cool. So I saved it, and then I started to write the songs, and I hooked up with Mike Borders, who used to be in Massacre and stuff. Yeah, he was actually still in Tampa when I was talking to him, and then he moved up towards Gainesville and stuff, and it, just became hard to get shit together. But he helped. He helped on the EP, and he helped put like some of the early songs together, kind of showing me how to use the computer to fucking record myself, which I never did before. I'm still not great at it. But, we had worked on some songs. Half of those probably I'm not even using anymore. I kept writing because it's like impossible to find people to play with. So I just kept writing, and now I've got, a bunch of leftovers, but I've got 10 like A-list songs. And the few people that have heard them are like, this shit's really good. It's really heavy. So I'm just trying to get this fucking band together, man. It's like pulling teeth, especially when either everyone's older and they've got 3 other bands they play with, or they got, a kid with a runny nose. Oh, I got to pick them up from school today. And it's like, it's just, it's really hard.
Full-time job.
Yeah. Job on top of that. And, breaking up with the wife.
Yeah. Life.
It's
all the life
like
stuff.
Wife shit, and then the new girlfriend. And it's like, yeah. So it's a pain in the ass, but it's coming together slowly. I'm not sure if I have all the members yet, but there seemed to be a bunch in Tampa. I was trying to get people a little closer to me so we wouldn't have to have everybody traveling, but it doesn't seem like there's many choices of musicians in South Florida. Fucking slim picking, or they're already playing in a band. So that's what's taking the longest, just getting that together.
I gotcha. And one thing I forgot to ask, you might have mentioned it. What was the name of that punk band that you had?
The Dropouts.
The Dropouts. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you drop out of school?
We were all planning on. The singer did. We were all planning on it.
Oh, really?
But luckily, I didn't. Luckily, the band broke up before I dropped out of high school, because that would have been fucking stupid.
Yeah, I dropped out and I went back and got my GED. And
I never did. I mean, I hated school, but at that point, I was already in like first year of high school, so it was only 2 more years after that, so I stuck it out.
Right. Hell yeah. So what kind of gear do you play?
A couple years ago, my friend set me up with someone from Mesa Boogie. Okay, so I wound up getting, because I have the old Marshall heads in the early days. I still have them. And then I wound up getting ADA, that little preamp, because Vito, our managers, also managed White Lion, and Vito had hooked up with ADA. So he's like, oh, check these out. And I was like, man, it sounds like a Marshall without all the fucking noise, like a plane taking off. So I wound up using those on the 4th album. And then, like the old Marshalls, I really didn't want to track them out to fucking gigs all the time. And since he hooked me up with Mesa Boogie, I wound up getting a triple rectifier. I got a stack that I bought here. And then when I hooked up with Vio-lence, Mesa Boogie is actually out, just north of San Francisco. So I needed gear out there. So I bought another stack just to put at the Vio-lence practice. So I've been using that. We wound up using my head, I think, on the EP. And I love it.
Are you a Dean guy now?
Yeah, and then Chris, who's in Malevolent Creation now,
yes.
He just friended me like, what was it, like 2018 maybe? He just friended me on Facebook one time. I didn't even know who he was or anything, and I kind of looked. I was like, oh, he works at Dean. And I was actually on vacation up in St. Augustine. And he's like, hey, if you're not doing nothing, why don't you stop by the shop tomorrow? I was like, oh, yeah, no problem.
Oh, yeah, I'll fucking just drive all the way to Tampa.
Yeah, with my dogs. I have my fucking 2 dogs with me. So I drove from St. Augustine to Tampa before I came home. And he's like, yeah, walked me around, showed me all the stuff they had for like a dime bag guitar and poster and all cut out, all this other crap. And I walked around with another guy, met everyone in the shop, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, yeah, set him up with that Tobacco Sunburst V. So that was the first thing I got. He had given me that. And I loved it. Yeah, that guitar was great. And then he gave me a black Stealth. It's like a flat black, the Explorer shape.
Oh, okay.
And then they gave me the Ocean Burst, which I really wanted. I wasn't sure if I could use that color with Vio-lence, but they said, yeah, no problem. So I wound up getting that blue one, and that blue one I liked even more. So I played that a lot. And then I had just gone up there. I didn't know he was quitting.
Right.
Just before they went out and do the tour, I was up in that area after Metallica, and I had stopped by. And I said, look, I need something pointy. So he gave me the Vengeance V. I actually been playing all morning. He's like, yeah, I don't have a V that's pointy, so I need one of those. He was like, all right. So he gave me that, and then he went out with Creator. And I guess, having him gone for so long, it was like, look, you can't do that, but he wants to play, so he quit. So I don't know if I'll be getting any more guitars. I'll have to see, but yeah, I like Dean a lot.
Yeah, I'm not sure who will take over for him. Chris is a good guy, but I'm sure you'll still be part of the family, because before he came, I used to get guitars for benefits, because there's a lot of people there that are in the scene. They're musicians themselves, and lucky for those musicians, the Dean allows them to tour, and get their job back.
Yeah.
Usually. So
well, Jesse went with them to sing.
Yes.
So that was like, okay, two guys are gone with this same band. It's not like one at a time. So maybe it was a little too much for them to handle. But I think he said because I think someone took over most of the factory, some speaker company, and they were looking to go a little bit farther north and get their own warehouse again. So they might be making some more changes. They've been constantly
downsizing.
Yeah, downsizing, moving shit around, and I tried to get something custom made, but they weren't doing anything custom, and COVID hit, same crap.
Crazy.
So I'll wait and see who the next rep might be, or what I'm going to do with them. But yeah, they want to be really, really good guitars. I like them.
So, what do you have like a full-time day job, or is music your only thing?
I did plumbing for like 21, 22 years down here. I worked for my family. They had a business.
Gotcha.
And I did it a couple of years ago. 3 years ago, I did it up until like my mother passed away, and then I switched over to a friend that I know down here from the band Made of Metal. They needed some help one day and kind of asked me if I would give them a hand with moving doors and shit. And that's what they mostly do, is doors and locks and repair windows and glass and, shit like that. And they're like, well, if we get any more work, we'll definitely give you a call. I was like, yeah, cool. I've known them from hanging out in the club. And then actually the one guy that was working with them, his brother murdered him.
Wow.
In his house. Yeah, the older guy. Fucking guy got into a fight, and he wound up killing him, stabbing him to death. So unfortunately, they were short-handed, and they're like, hey, if you want to work, you can work. So I've been with them like 2 years now almost.
Yeah, metal.
But it's good. It's like half days. It's not full days.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't really want to work full days anymore, because it just I didn't really need to do it that much. So we work early, and we're kind of usually done by like 1, 2 o'clock.
Yeah, metal doesn't really pay all the bills, unless you're
especially now
touring all the time. That's the thing. You got to tour. You got to tour.
Yeah, you have to. I was just talking about that with Ellefson last week, and it's like there are no more album sales. Everything is for free. So basically, all you're doing with your music is setting it up for people to stream it.
Yeah.
And, you get paid that way. And then the only other thing you could possibly do is stay on the road. So you got to play shows, and you got to sell merchandise. And that's really the only way. I mean, a lot of bands from back then, like I didn't see any royalties from the Overkill albums.
Oh, really?
Except the first one, because that was Megaforce. It wasn't Megaforce Atlantic. So yeah, for 40 years now, almost, I haven't gotten anything from those other than Yeah, there just was no royalties from that. But Atlantic is notorious
God, that's
for not
hard to
paying.
believe.
Yeah, it is. That's what I say every fucking year for the past 35 years. It's like hard to believe, we didn't pay all that shit off yet. I guess in you for 15 years what our max was that we owed you, and it's never gone down. So I'm like, how can we still owe you the same amount for 15 years? No one did anything, but that's Atlantic. Unfortunately, I wish, we almost never went to Atlantic, although they did give us the money to get bigger. We haven't seen nothing from fucking sales. So it's kind of the same for everybody, most bands, especially with the metal. We have to stay on the road. So that's I'm trying to tell these guys too, hey, if we get signed and we get an album out, just expect to be doing a lot of fucking playing. Because that's the only way we're going to make money.
Yeah, and then the merch, man. Even in some places, they rape you on the merch sales.
Yeah,
because they want the big percentages, and I heard Europe's gotten pretty bad.
Yeah,
some places.
Unless we all stick up and tell them no, you're not doing that. Because it happens with these bars sometimes too. Say, hey, look, I'm bringing all these people in your bar, and they're buying your beer. Only cost you 50 cents a beer, and you're charging them $3. Where's my percentage of that?
Shit, more than $3 usually.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to go tit for tat, then, we want a percentage of the bar. So you just got to reject these clubs and not play at them, and they'll turn that shit around.
Yeah.
Because that's really the only way, you're going to survive. But, I know there's no money in it, and I've probably lost more money than I've gained. But it's a drug that I'm not going to give up. I'm always going to play guitar. And I'm always going to write songs.
Fuck yeah.
It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. So,
I mean,
I got to deal with it.
You're a metalhead. It's stuck in you, man. You're a metalhead for life. It's like me doing this museum shit. I put in a lot of money in that. And anyways, yeah. Fuck yeah, man. So, is there a place that, speaking of merch, that everybody can go and find merch from you at all, from your bands?
I haven't printed any of the Painward stuff yet. I sold out of all the Satan's Taint shit, except for CDs, so I'm not really going to renew any merch on that band. But as soon as I can get, a logo together that's high def, and we can definitely see in the horizon that we're going to be coming out with shit, I'll start selling it. I've got a bunch of ideas, but I'm always on, you'll always find me on either Facebook, Instagram, a little bit, but mostly Facebook. I have, pages up. There's a Painward page on Facebook.
Do you have, is Painward on there on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Painward band. There's a page on that. I haven't bothered anybody. Like, people send invites.
Yeah.
To fucking join it, but I'm like, I'm not doing that to anybody until, we're ready.
Right.
To, once shit's together, I don't care about people like, oh, you need numbers on the internet. That's what the record label looks at. Like,
it's all changed, man.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
I'm like, I'll give them a fucking good album. I'm not going to spend all my time fucking trying to invite people to get to the page just so I can impress somebody with fake numbers.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Stupid. I mean, I got 5,000 people on my Facebook page and 6,000 followers. Am I selling that much CDs? No. So you people are there, but you're not buying my shit. So it doesn't matter how many fucking people you got on your goddamn list.
Buy his shit, bitches. Well, they can go and like Painward, and I think Satan's Taint has a site too on there, right?
Yeah, I still have pages for them because I was, I feel like I just sold a couple of CDs.
Okay, so they contact you through that and just say, "Hey, I want a CD."
Yeah,
right,
yeah. Usually in Messenger, if you go on the page and just message me, people use PayPal. We'll send money through PayPal, and then I just mail it out.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm just concentrating. We have 10 songs from Painward. We got 4. I'm trying to put a demo together. Got to find a singer. He sees a lizard on the fence in fact. The fucking lizard crawls across the top. It's actually an iguana. But yeah, the 4 songs we're trying to get. I got a friend who sings up in New York. I'm trying to get him to fill out at least those songs for us. And I could play bass, so I just put bass on the track because of this. But once we get these together with vocals, we're going to start, trying to at least ship them around a little bit. And if he doesn't work out on vocals, at least we have something else we could send to somebody because, vocals can make or break the band. So
yeah,
it's really got to be the right person. And that's the hardest thing always to find.
It seems like it's always hard to find somebody to stick with one band nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys, it's like, it's comes around, goes around shit. And it seems like being in a cover band is acceptable again. So everyone's playing in fucking cover bands and it's like, oh, I got a gig Saturday, so I can't practice. All right. Yeah. Play somebody else's music. I'm like, I tell them, man, I didn't practice my whole childhood away to fucking play somebody else's songs.
Right.
Man, I sat inside with my guitar for years, not going out, learning shit, playing so I can do my own music. And I said, here you are playing someone else's. It's like, that doesn't make sense to me at all.
And anything else you want to add, Bobby?
No, that's about it. I'm up to the end. So if you want to buy, anything, tape stuff, or you want to find out more about Painward, just like I said, hit me up on the socials. But I think we're all caught up pretty much to where I am right now.
Fuck yeah, buy that shit. That's helps pay the bills and actually helps pay for studio and all the merch and everything. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. By the time you mail something out, it's a couple of dollars, but it's still nice to send shit out to people and watch them enjoy it.
Yeah,
makes it worth it.
Shit, I miss those tape trading days, man.
Right? Yeah, that's when shit was easy.
It was fun. And yeah, we were kids, But hell yeah, you might see Bobby around Florida, bitches. I run into him occasionally and it's just like, hey, what's up? And that's about, and then we go on our ways pretty much. Cause it's kind of too loud to talk in there really, usually.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of like, the guys I play with, I actually work with one of the guys too. They just did the backup band for Joey Belladonna.
Oh, okay.
Jim plays the drums and my friend Mike plays the guitar with them. And the bass player Rob was on the CDs with me. So they just did backup with him. And there's, there seems to be next couple of months is going to be a bunch of bands coming down this way. And then actually December 3rd, Nico, since he's not in Maiden anymore, he has his party at his restaurant. And those guys go out there and play in the parking lot. He's been doing that for like 10 years or so now.
Yeah, I haven't been yet. I'm planning on going. He does it for a charity too, so that's pretty
cool.
He
does. He gives a lot to charity. He auctions stuff off, very accessible. And, just a bunch of local bands. So it's good. It's a good time.
Hell yeah, man. And so we'll have to get you up here for the Tampa Bay Museum of Metal too. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was tempted to go to that Morristown thing, but it wound up being a Friday, and I couldn't really get up there. But every once in a while, I'll head up and do something here and there in Tampa.
I didn't attend the ceremony. I went to the brewery. That's actually where they had the celebration afterwards, and actually John Oliva showed up, which was encouraging to see him out and about. And so a few other old school guys, and but I appreciate it, man. Thanks for joining us here, and hell yeah, we got to hear the history of Bobby Gustafson. Fuck yeah, in the future.
Little history lesson. History lesson, yeah.
Thank you, brother.
You got it, man. I'll see you up there sometime.
Hell yeah.